Work till I get on that wall behind you.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
On this episode of Another Act, I welcome back 50 Cent to talk more about his evolution as a TV producer, about those viral moments of his Starz TV spinoffs, and about what's coming next.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, welcome back to the show. Something that I don't think I've ever asked you before is this. Why the expansion and why these characters? We have Tariq, Kanan, and now Tommy. What's the force behind the creative space to explore Tommy's story now?
Well, I mean, just the universe period, I felt like it was the first time that we had such a diverse cast and have the success that we had with Power. Just the spinoffs in general, I felt like the one to worry about was the biggest one. It was the Tariq show. And it was the Ghost show coming in behind everything. They would be going to college into a theme with someone new to their life. That would lower the stakes of the things that were going on in Power between Ghost and Tommy and their business. So I didn't know what to expect, but we ended up getting more millennials to watch the show.
Yeah.
There'd be more people on their telephone watching because they're at that point. And then the Raising Kanan project, just to show his upbringing back to South Jamaica, and then we get a chance to enter the golden era, like it's the 90s, it's that prime time, like music, everything is just, it's kind of crazy at that time period. So we got a chance to capture that. And when we get to Tommy, like it's funny because BMF comes in between.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that comes in is a huge success. But when we get to Tommy, we're really getting to the natural spinoff of Power because he's leaving town and going into a whole nother, like what happens to him when he gets, it kind of got like those Western movies have a theme like going into the town and take over the town and stuff like that. It has that energy to it, but it's a modern version of that type of theme and thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Chicago because this is the first time in this universe that you're taking us really outside of New York and giving us a whole new terrain that I imagine would also be part of the storytelling arc. Why was Chicago the backdrop for the story? And did Joseph Sikora, actually being a Chicago native, have anything to do with that decision? Or what was the thought behind that?
I think Chicago is a hell of a backdrop for, like, as a character.
Yeah.
The town got a lot going on in it. And it's not the Chicago that I'm conscious of. So when you watch the show, it's it's not the version that they immediately would think of within hip hop or youth culture and stuff like that. And because hip hop is not something you participate with or like you don't work in hip hop, you live in the culture. All of those things are still like on my radar without me having anything to do with it. But the show does offer like that. When he touched down, immediately he gets to new scenarios. I think Joe, as a talent, is definitely a lead man. He belongs in this position right now.
And and I know that you know this, but that character is such a fan favorite in Black households. And it makes sense to me why. I think anyone who's grown up in the inner city always knew a white dude, like Tommy, that even the white privilege couldn't really escape, a lot of times the harsh realities of their circumstances. But talk to me about why you think Black audiences have gravitated towards Tommy in the way that they have.
They just know why the character is the way it is. Like in the environments, if you grew up in South Jamaica, the trailer park is not much different from the projects. That privilege is not there.
Yeah.
In those communications, once we get past your police, you could be purple, you could be green, we don't care. Color you are, just people, and they get involved, and specifically in that lifestyle, he knows that people will see him and not see him, not feel threatened or feel like he could potentially do something. So you send him in first, so they won't even see you coming.
Yeah.
Who he is, like, like that's why a lot of times in the early stages in Power, like when I communicated to Courtney, like they would look at him and not even see him, Joseph Shakur, as a threat. When we was in the neighborhood, I took him to the neighborhood so he can actually see and feel what goes on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was blown away by it. Like even the kids, like you'll see them like they walking real tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he not, watch this. And I said, yo, what's up? He looked, oh, his energy completely changed. That tough is a defense mechanism. It's saying, don't play with me.
If you take me back to the beginning of when you and Courtney were really creating this universe, was Tommy's character always going to be a white dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Initially, it started off, I think Minister Society.
Mm.
He's old dog. He's just young black and just don't give a We just turned him into the white character.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
At that point, it changes it completely. It's just because he's not African American and it registers different.
Yeah. And it gives you, I think, probably a little bit more of a creative space to explore because he is a white guy. Like you got to bring in potentially, Italian lineage, not just an Irish dude. And you got to kind of explore into this world and really see this intersection of like Black mafia and an Italian mafia, intersecting too, which you wouldn't have been able to do if you were not a white guy. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about really the Power universe as a whole. The magic really hasn't been lost, or the audience, importantly, after Ghost was killed. Fans still want more. Why do you think that this universe is as popular as it is? Like, for example, it's become appointment TV. You can't go on social media on Sunday morning, even really, because people are looking at it earlier, on their app. If you don't want something spoiled. Why is it that you think that's the case?
It has those tones to it. Even me slowing down with releasing music to create a stronger focus on me releasing when it's a theme song.
Yeah.
Like that makes a more of an event out of it. Like even the theme song for Force, it's current. Like it's me in Dirt and in Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like Chicago. So I got probably the two biggest artists out of Chicago to work on a song with me. Mm-hmm. And there's culturally away from that, the thing that connects different is we've held the largest live events connected to the release of television projects. Mm-hmm. Premieres, like we did Radio City Music Hall, we did Madison Square Garden, we done Atlanta, it's about 7,000 people. Mm-hmm. Performance for BMF, like ahead of the actual show, it's almost a concert. In fact, it's an event that's that they couldn't make. Another television show would have to just buy a concert and put it on to release their show. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different because the show's happening. The other artists, the artist community wants to come out and be a part of it, so it happens.
I want to stay there with kind of this brilliance of tapping into this already established hip hop audience, because I feel like I want to unpack your journey to success. When you go back to In the Club 50 or PIMP 50, what were your expectations of your career back then? Was there ever a thought that television or film would be part of your trajectory?
At that point, I just wanted the music to be a hit. Mm. Look, if you ask me to make one wish, I would wish at that point just for it to go right.
Yeah. And
now if you ask me to make a wish, because I know more about myself over that time, I would just wish for more wishes. Later, like after I accomplished that and that work, I just kept working at it, because you hear Drake say, I want this thing forever, man.
Yeah.
When you're in the position, that slot, you want to hold it. You want to keep going and keep doing it. And you love it. Everything's coming together. And then you start to look at other platforms to express yourself. And look, film and television is extremely appreciated by the actors that are in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the music is probably the escape from it, from the work. anything else that they're looking at could be technically researched, or they're looking at a choice that the actor made or some different things. So they escape it when they're listening. And you'll even see them headphones on when they're working. Like to stop, to not be talking to people and doing everything else, just relax and listen to certain music. Or they'll play music that connects them to the character. And it's interesting because once you do one thing so often, you can really love and appreciate the other. And I looked at, the film and television thing, like there was no limitations to what I could actually create.
But because it really took off the way that it has, I mean, you're one of the most successful television producers right now, creating content. Has this been a curveball for you? Because back then, your thought was to be a really big hip hop musician superstar. It wasn't necessarily to be a really big, television producer, film producer, anything like that. So has this been a curveball with maybe what your original plan was for your life?
No, because what happens is my first show is the highest rated show and on a new network, a blossoming network that will allow you to have more influence, ability to massage the idea of the power universe on them. Another network is already established would probably go, I don't know if we see it like that. I think you just want more of what we just did. You know what I'm saying? And my first album was the largest debut on hip hop album. So it's very difficult for those other guys, but for me, things go this way. It's just the way it goes. You see what I'm saying? Like the first album, boom, kaboom. Like you can't even compare. On my journey, I've been through an experience that I haven't shared that is a little different because the intensity of these things for me have been different. Like with the music, a man is conditioned to have what he can, not what he wants.
Things are going very right for you right now. I think because I stalked Patina on IG that you guys are back in production for Kanan.
Raising Kanan and Ghost.
Okay. And then does that mean that BMF is about to get back to work? Because everybody in Detroit, we're ready for some more BMF.
It is. The actual writers' room is. We just had the BMF marketing call yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. So ready to give more content. How do you manage? Because at this point you're juggling several shows, in some cases that are on air at the same time, but certainly in production at the same time. How do you, put weight towards one versus the other? How does that work for you right now?
Well, as the stages of development you're in, it changes how much it requires me to be involved. So you say in at the point that we're at with the 4 shows that they see, they're already locked and in a rotation. So look at it like each quarter. The show has to be ready to come out for the next quarter and the next quarter, and then so having 4 of those, and then I'm telling Starz now I need another day. I need another day where I come on Thursday. And my other programming and the other stuff that we have should come out during the week instead of it just being wait till Sunday.
I'm really interested in how your mind works as a producer. What types of stories are you looking to tell next? Like what types of things are catching your attention that makes you say, I at least want to take a meeting to see if this is something worth exploring? What has to be on the page?
It'd be a lot of different ideas that excite me when they see the consistent mentions of another show going and another show going. It brings you to pick of the new material that's coming out. Other people that haven't already connected to, they can already be connected to producers. They just know that it's a better idea for it to be a collaboration going in. And we'll get together and make make it work. Like I think if you looked at how if it was just my idea, because they have a mandate. Starz has a mandate, so they want specific, I have to develop content or make shows that match their mandate. And Power was before what they picked. So they're requesting something that's a little different from what you're actually seeing. So you'll feel a diverse energy from some of the things that you see coming from me in the future, it won't feel exactly like Power. And that's by design. It's not like you can just make the same.
Okay. Yeah, you want to get away from that. Well, listen, always enjoy talking to you, 50. Thank you so much, and continued success. Keep doing it.
Work till I get on that wall behind you.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.